Happy birthday, Thrive Singles blog. Yep, this makes 1 year of the Thrive Singles blog and about 6 months of the Thrive Singles podcast. Hey, this is Todd. Welcome to the Thrive Singles podcast. Whether you're single again or still single, stop hating being single and learn to thrive. And welcome back to Thrive Singles Podcast. I very much appreciate you listening in every week, and I especially appreciate those of you who give feedback, give likes, and pass episodes on to your social media friends. And speaking of which, if you could give us a good review and a good rating on whatever platform you listen, that would be awesome and helpful. Today's episode is a little different from what I've done before. Like I said earlier, this marks 1 year of Thrive Singles blog, and it makes about 6 months of Thrive Singles podcast. And it also makes about 3 months that I've been putting episodes up on the Thrive Singles blog YouTube channel. Now, I don't want to turn this into some introspective or retrospective, self-aggrandizing look back at the year, but I do want to share a little more of my story and then take a little look back over the year and share a little bit of my vision for the future. Now, a few of you were here locally and were part of Thrive Singles Ministry, or my divorce care group. Some of you know I was married for about 16 years and got divorced at around 40 years old, then lived as a midlife single for almost 7 years. What you don't know, or probably don't know, is that I was one of the last people in my circle of friends to get married, and the only one at the time to get divorced. That being the case, I hated being single. I hated being single longer than my friends were when I was younger, and I especially hated being single again in midlife. So when I came up with the tagline for Thrive Singles blog, "Stop hating being single, learn to thrive," I was not only speaking as someone who had seen singles struggle, but someone who personally hated being single longer than I had hoped, and really hated being single again in midlife. The things I write about are the things that helped me go from that person who hated being single to someone who learned to thrive as a single. Now, as I write each blog post and record each podcast episode, I want to write and say things that will be helpful. Because if someone like me can go from hating to thriving, you can too. I believe, based on my own experience and the experience of others I've observed, and all the books I've read, that how you think about your singleness and what you do while you're single makes a huge difference in your quality of life as a single person. It also has a huge impact on whether you get married or not. And if you do get married, what type of marriage you'll have. So let me sum up my thoughts about how to thrive as a single person in a few short paragraphs here. First, change your way of thinking about singleness. The first step is to make a conscious decision that you can and will stop hating being single and learn to be happy and content. I know that sounds overly simplistic and, kind of cliche, but it's a vital first step. Get your mind right. Singleness is not some punishment to be endured. It can be an awesome time of personal growth and unique opportunities. So get your mind right. Secondly, change how you think about yourself. 1 is a whole number. You are a whole person, an individual, whole and complete. You're not some incomplete half person in search of your other half. Those of you who are Christians should especially realize that you are complete and whole in Christ. Neediness and desperation will never lead to a good relationship. Good relationships form when 2 whole and complete individuals get together. Next, become truly single. One of the biggest mistakes I see singles make is not taking time to just be single. Don't rush to get paired up. Stop dating for a while and just be single. Be who you are. Become confident in who you are. That takes time. Don't rush it. Learn to be happy and content without any romantic or sexual entanglement before you attempt another relationship. Then, change the way you date. One of the other huge mistakes I see single people make is what I call serial dating. It's almost like chain smoking, one to another, to another, to another. If you want better results, stop doing what you've been doing. Do something different. Date differently. Don't date as in forming some sort of marriage light. Date as in spend quality time with different types of people. Have a little fun, a little non-romantic, platonic fun, and get a feel for if that person might make a good spouse. And be sure to leave everyone you go out with a little better than they were before you spent time with them. Don't date selfishly. If you want to thrive as a single, if you want to be successfully single, you need to do it. Not like have sex. That's counterproductive when you're single. I mean, do those things I mentioned. Doing those things will help you thrive as a single person and give you the best shot at a happy marriage later, if you decide to give up the awesome single life you create. Those principles are at the heart of what I've written about each of the last 52 weeks and spoken about for the last 6 months. And they'll remain at the heart of what I blog and podcast from now on. This past year has been quite the adventure. I've learned so much about blogging and podcasting, from creative aspects to the technological know-how. It's been a challenge. It's also been rewarding to see the content I create make its way out into the world and have an impact on the lives of singles, and that's pretty cool. Now, lately, the blog readership has kind of plateaued. So if you find the content valuable, please share it with someone you know who needs to read it. On the other hand, I've been surprised how quickly the podcast has picked up listeners. But there are still lots of singles out there who need to hear these things and make some changes so they can stop hating being single and start thriving. We've got a lot of work to do, so please pass it on. Now, let me share a little bit about the future of the blog and the podcast. My vision for the future includes some exciting things. In the near future, I hope to make better use of video on YouTube and Facebook. And in the meantime, you can check out the content I do have up on YouTube. I do have some podcast episodes and some curated videos that I found helpful. One of the things I most want to see in the coming year is more back and forth communication, more of a two-way conversation between us. So toward that end, please make use of the comment section under each blog post, or leave comments or questions on the Thrive Singles Ministry Facebook page, or on Twitter @ThriveSingles. And if you have a question or comment, but you want to stay out of the public eye, you can always email me at ask@thrivesingles.com. So it's Facebook, Thrive Singles Ministry, Twitter @ThriveSingles, or email ask@thrivesingles.com. As we discuss what's important to you as a single person and what's on your mind, we can be a valuable resource for each other. So please, let me know how I can better serve you. I'm also planning on writing a book and perhaps creating an online course. Is that something you might be interested in? See right there, that's an opportunity for some conversation. Seriously, let me know your thoughts on those things. And that briefly covers the past and the future. Now for the present. I have a little present for you. See what I did there? Past, future, present, see? But if you sign up for the mailing list, you will get instant access to a free ebook I just put together with some basics on how to thrive as a single person. That's available for download as an EPUB file. That's if you use Google Books or most other ebook readers. A Mobi file, which is for Kindle, or a PDF. And lastly, a big thank you to those of you who have subscribed and passed things on to others. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Oh, and if you're already on the mailing list, you may still have to fill in the email and first name again to get the ebook. I'm sorry about that. I apologize. If I can figure out a way around that, I'll change it. But for now, you'll have to jump through that little hoop. So don't let that stop you, though. It's a valuable little ebook. Please take advantage of it. So till next week, thanks for listening. Enjoy your freebie, keep in touch, and thrive on. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. See you next week. Till then, be sure to subscribe and go check out my extensive archive of past posts at thrivesingles.com. And thrive on.
Whoa, thrive. Yeah, come alive. There's more to life. You gotta grow, you gotta thrive. Whoa, whoa, you gotta thrive.